Hey guys, it's here bringing you another video. Now welcome to my first video, technically I guess, of Aphelios now that he's on live servers. But obviously we're doing a replay for a couple reasons. One, it's really hard to get Aphelios. I tried today on my recording session, couldn't. He was banned. I think the 180 carry game that we played Jin because he was banned. And secondly, I want to see like a better player or someone that actually has been playing it quite a bit, see what they do on him, see if it's effective, etc. So I will say, normally the series obviously focuses on Challenger players, but the problem is no one in Challenger, I think, is being able to play him because he's being banned every game. So I went on, you know, the match history of recent Challenger players that you can look on the client, went through a list, no one was playing him. Then went on, and I will say not sponsored, but League of Graphs can have a breakdown of like the best players per region on a champion. And yeah, this is one of the best players in a decent rating. So this guy is in Diamond 1 right now. I don't know if it actually is Forgiven, by the way. Obviously, Forgiven is a famous player. This name is similar to that. I don't think it's the actual Forgiven. If it is, let me know. But, you know, it's a Diamond 1 player. They've been playing it a bit. He's got a good win rate on the champion in, like, however many games. And, yeah, like, the most games I've seen people have on this champion is, like, 10 or 15 games. The maximum, because he's being banned all the time. So his general level, by the way, of strength, people do think, I think, you know, they think he's quite strong, is what I think people are feeling. So you actually can notice something straight away. Obviously, the start of the game, you always start with the same two weapons. You start with the sniper and then the lifesteal pistol. You can see instantly he has swapped to the lifesteal pistol and he's holding his sniper. So obviously he doesn't want to go through with the sniper ammo. He'll just occasionally swap to it now. Maybe the thought process is, you know, use the snipe to, you know, poke instead of just farm. But it does seem now that he swapped. So I don't know what the thought process is there. Why would you start with the lifesteal when you're at full health and then swap to the sniper? I'm not really sure. There most likely is a reason for it. But yeah, by the way, the three weapons that I think people have been wanting the most. The boomerang one, I think, has the highest damage potential in actual, you know, the actual game itself, or at least having the boomerang one in your offhand. The fire weapon, obviously, is the one that people really want for team fights. Meanwhile, he gets poked now, but obviously, one, he's with a Soraka, and two, he's got the lifesteal weapon out. But yeah, so you want the fire weapon as your primary, and the boomerang as your secondary, and also the gravity weapon, the slow weapon, is also pretty good too. The weapon that I think people are thinking is a bit lackluster might be the lifesteal pistol. It still has its use, it's not terrible, but it is the one that I see anyway people are burning through as quickly as they possibly can. It just doesn't, you know, give him that much. Well, one, if you're buying lifesteal part of your kit, nice snipe. If you're buying lifesteal part of your kit, you don't technically need the lifesteal weapon, and especially, let's say, this matchup, he's with a Soraka, so he doesn't really need healing, does he? Does a nice little combo there, gets his active out for the snipe, and gets another snipe on Janna from high range. Now the lifesteal weapon's gone, you'll notice, and he did really quickly pull out the slow weapon, but he's quickly hidden it. Hits the Q, then gets a nice snipe, but he instantly swaps to the grav gun to get that bonus instead. Now with the Soraka bonus, gets the little, the whatever they call it. That might have been a bit of lag from the replay. But the root from Soraka, nice combo there actually between these two champions. And they will now continue. Boom, he's got the flame weapon now. So instantly one thing is noticeable is he's going through his weapons relatively at the same time. That, you know, he goes through like half of the ammo of one weapon, he'll then swap to the other weapon and burn half ammo of that. So whenever he's getting new weapons, he's getting the new weapons kind of at the same time. So that's something interesting to me. Anyway, first blood does happen. It was a dive in mid lane, but I was looking at the health bar. The Zed nearly got killed just to the Kassadin straight away. We'll say this replay, you guys know the drill. We tend to try and keep with goodish performances. The Aphelios does have a decent performance, but he might have been, you know, the Kassadin is very strong in the meta, we'll say right now. Very strong in mid lane, so obviously expect the Kassadin himself to do well as well. Right, so item build from Aphelios. Buying a pickaxe. Guessing he's just rushing a Infinity Edge, possibly, and he just wanted the most base AD possible straight away, so that would obviously be a pickaxe. but we'll obviously have to come and see. I did get a question earlier on stream, by the way, earlier today, was like, Huz, I like playing on-hit AD carries. They're not really being played anymore. Should I just play crit? And the answer is yes. Again, if you want to follow the meta about what's strong, right now, crit AD carries are simply stronger, but give it a few months and patch will happen, and then on-hit AD carries, attack speed AD carries will be stronger. It's just the way that it goes. It changes all the time, but just right now, yes, crit AD carry is the stronger of the two. Right, so Fire Gun, obviously not bad for wave clear because it has the AoE. I generally would like to keep that for a big ult, but obviously you're not level 6 yet, so he probably doesn't really care about holding it for an ultimate. And they're just pushing up the wave. Gonna go and maybe get some extra vision. You can see on the minimap, which, oh, this is a mistake that I've done. Sorry, apologies. We haven't blanked out. So right now they did not know Rengar was there. They now obviously do. Soraka ulting away, teleport coming in. Aphelios going to stay in the area. They are flashing for the Soraka, who they have not killed, by the way. Rumble, not level 6, roaming teleport. Soraka using the alcove, ladies and gentlemen. He did hit level 6, did the Rumble. There is still a Rengar behind, and Rumble's focus is a little bit lackluster. Aphelios does hit a Q, then gets the proc with his Graviton weapon. Will pick up 1 kill. Rumble does go down 2. Kassadin roaming. Aphelios doing as much damage as he can with the Boomerang weapon, which we have said is a really strong one. And he will survive because somehow the Kassadin tanked the tower. Aphelios lives. 2 kills, double kill. And overall, not a terrible situation. Just a little bit of a fiesta one. Because, you know, that was a lot of people in bot lane at 6 minutes into the game, one of them being a top laner who is now technically half farmed to the Kled. Now, one thing will be interesting, and you can kind of have a mental note, a mental guess. Meanwhile, Zed is roaming with ultimate, I would predict. Another teleport coming down. Aphelios just holding his ground, has the tower, going to try and survive. Kassadin coming in, nice Q. Nice heal by Soraka, and Aphelios picks himself up another kill. So, again, great team play that we're witnessing here. This is, again, high diamond EUS, so you would expect some good play. Teleports everywhere in bot lane. Why? This, again, does prove that the meta right now is so focused on bot lane that the top laner is willing to teleport down bot to help his AD carry. All the roaming is going to bot lane from the enemy team. The mid laner then teleports down. It's all focusing on making sure that your bot lane is doing well, because a lot of the time, if your jungler's doing okay, it's then secondary to that. It's if your bot lane's doing okay to help then with the dragons. Rengar does get killed. Kha'Zix is now level 6, so he can solo dragons, but he is doing it without any bot lane pressure, so the enemy bot lane is just kind of letting their presence known, but I think it's too late, and the dragon will be taken by the Kha'Zix. One thing will be interesting to me, though, we saw that Rumble was nearly half farm, but he did get 1 kill, 3 assists, so gold-wise, Rumble is actually only 100 gold behind. So that does show the power of roaming. He was already behind the Kled before the teleport. He then goes, screw it, I'm going to make a teleport play, and it brings him really close to his lane opponent. So it does show you should look for roams if you're especially having a rough game in especially top lane, because again, top lane is the island lane right now that junglers don't really know what top lane is anymore. So you're left alone, you're fighting the 1v1, and what is a god in the 1v1? Kled. Nothing really beats a really good Kled. You know, maybe a good Fiora, but, you know, if you make a mistake, a Kled will kill you. And yeah, Kled at this point is nearly double the farm of Rumble. Right, so game is continuing. Obviously, we haven't even mentioned, it's a Syndra bot lane. Honestly, it might just be me kind of not paying attention too much, but I think mage bot lanes have been relatively dying out. I know there have been some personalities that have been playing some mage bots like Viger and stuff. Just personally, you know, in my own games of solo queue, I've not been seeing mage bot lanes. But yeah, this person is. Again, you never know what the situation is. Are they a one-trick Syndra? Are they just a mage bot lane player? That's what they're going to play regardless. You never know. You know, one thing you do have to say with League of Legends is the game itself, I'd say, meanwhile the enemy team getting a few kills, the game itself, I'd say, is way more open. If Aphelios goes for an ultimate, gets the Syndra kind of napping, with his ultimate, with the grav gun, gets the root, she has nowhere to go, and she will go down for free. Bad death there by the Syndra. But I think most of us would agree that the game itself is really open. It's whatever you want to play. You want to play a mage bot? Go ahead. You want to play a mage jungle? You know, you kind of can nowadays, you know, some of them. You want to play an AD carry mid? Well, that's been the thing. Like, it's pretty open. Whatever you want to play, there is a way to play it. So, again, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I'm sure people have different opinions about that. Also, look at the damage that Aphelios can do instantly to a tower with his turret. And remember, the turret is the synergy of the champion when he has the boomerang as his secondary weapon. So, you know, I haven't really played this champion on live, but I'd say I'm pretty confident I know most of the combos already with him. Again, he's a complicated champion in essence. Well, he's a complicated champion in play. In theory, he's not that complicated. And what I mean by that, nice Soraka silence, by the way. Lovely got the root too. Soraka doing auto attacks. Remember, good support players will opt for auto attacks because it does make a difference. Janna, I think, is accepting her fate at this stage. Oh no, she's delaying for a Rengar. Aphelios going for some damage with the fire gun. Heals early. Don't know why. There isn't a ignite on the enemy team. And now Rengar ran to the bush, and the red team is like, well, we're not following you into the bush, so screw that. They get a nice kill. And there you go. Rumble now roaming down. Remember, Rumble is the top laner. It is a bit weird, but, you know, it's the way that it goes. And the fight will continue, or farm does continue. Aphelios now taking priority in farm. Maybe it'll be roughly even, or Syndra will keep the advantage slightly if she does manage to get all of that farm near her tower. But yeah, like the game is going pretty well so far. Haven't really spoken about comp, but the enemy team is mainly full AD. Another thing worth noting is Syndra bot lane. Maybe she went Syndra bot lane if she was last pick, for example, because she had a Zed mid, Rengar jungle, and a Kled top. Oh, we need some AP damage. I'll go Syndra bot lane. That's also a possibility. If that is the case, by the way, I would probably just say play Kai'Sa and just go her AP build. I think it is honestly stronger than most of the mages that you play in bot lane anyway. So yes, Infinity Edge rush by Aphelios, and something very interesting, he has bought a defensive para boot. So maybe Aphelios isn't Berserker Greaves reliant, like a lot of AD carries are, which I actually, yeah, I don't think he probably will be. But yeah, doesn't have goes Ninja Tabby, even though, and you could actually say that's a bit disrespectful, going Ninja Tabby when he's laning against a mage. So that kind of does show how little this Aphelios thinks of the Syndra. He's not even buying a boot that counters his lane opponent, because that's usually what you're buying a boot for. And if let's say you're a top lane and you're against, well, you know, I need, ult coming through, does get the double ultimate. Ooh, close of getting the snipe, doesn't manage to get it. But yeah, basically half health, both of them with his own ultimate instantly. A lot of damage coming out of that. But you can swap your boot, by the way. A lot of people don't opt for it. But if your lane opponent, let's say, is a mage, and you're like, oh, I need Mercury Treads to survive that. But let's say the mage doesn't do very well, and then the fed person on the enemy team is a really fed AD carry or something. Feel free in mid to late game to swap your boot. You can do that. It's not against the rules. You never see people do it, though. Which does confuse me somewhat, but I guess I personally don't really do it either. You kind of like, oh, there's my boot, got tier 2 boot, don't need to think about it anymore. But it is something that you should maybe think about every now and then. Right, tower will most likely go for the team. Potential gank on for them. Janna is flanking with the Syndra, coming in back from the lane. Kha'Zix in the area. Rengar ultimate 2 does come on to the Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix will go down near instantly. Yep, he will. Kled also going for a big play. Also Zed. So once again, this is the second time this game that to me is proving the point of bot lane meta is still very much the thing that you have to do, because this is the second time roughly 5 people have been bot lane this game. That just shows how much the bot lane is the focus. Shut down the bot lane, the dragon has spawned. Alright, kill them, then do dragon. That's the whole point. That's what you do. So, yeah, they will probably take that dragon for free, which will equalize the dragons. Once again, we're doing these replays. Apologies, there's no actual official way to see, who has which dragon. I'm hopefully, with obviously the dragon emphasis, that will come in the future of replays, but it isn't in the game right now. Also worth noting, if you guys want to, in the comment section, give me some champions or give me some players that you want me to do replays of. Because of the time of the year, and I've got to start bulk recording for Christmas, because obviously I'm not going to be recording during Christmas, and I'm also going away a few days after Christmas to see some family. We obviously need to start bulk recording videos, and a great video to do, I think, is these, because they're guaranteed videos, and I also think they're very educational. Now, one thing worth noting, enemy team didn't do dragon. Very confusing to me, and obviously you did see there that the Rengar did ping. Oh, I don't have smite, but you killed 3 people. You had still had 5 people alive. Why wouldn't they have done dragon? So that's a bit weird to me. That should have been 100% a dragon take for the blue team, but they didn't opt for it. There's the boomerang, by the way. I really like that weapon. It might be my favorite weapon of his, to be honest. Enemy team now clumping again, by the way. So Zed coming in. The Zed seems quite weak this game, though. Is going for an ultimate. Tower misses, but look at the damage. Instant damage return. Rengar ultimate too. Aphelios with his ultimate nearly, just straight up just kills the Rengar. Holy moly, dude. He's going to probably go down from all of that. But his tower's killing everything. Combining with the Soraka, he is not dead. And they end up killing the Kled. By the way, that was nearly a 10-man bot lane. Rumble was on his way bot lane. So that is the third time this game that the whole of the enemy team was bot lane. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. If that's what you were waiting for this game, is Aphelios strong? That might even be the title of the video. Hell, yes, he is. He legit just killed like 2 or 3 people. Like, he killed three people, but Soraka took one of the kills from like 100 to 0 nearly instantly. That was insane to watch. But it was, by the way, a lot of the damage came out of the boomerang weapon, which is what I told you guys, is what looks to be his strongest weapon. It's so much damage. So much damage. But there, that was awesome to watch, man. So worth noting his item build, by the way, Infinity Edge first. Then is also buying a crit cloak. To just, you know, emphasize getting as much crit as possible. So double kill coming out by the Kazakhs. Nearly getting the kill on the Syndra. She might make her way out. She does so far. Aphelios uses a Q. Doesn't manage to get anything else. Kassadin is continuing. Now there would be a fight, though. Not sure how this is going to go for an Aphelios versus a Kled. But you can see his damage is really high. He probably is going to go down. Is going to go down due to the Syndra stun. But wow. Worth also noting, this game so far isn't really a stomp. Nice kill by Kassadin. Yeah, from my knowledge and memory, this game is roughly halfway through the game. So it's not like a snowball's going to happen or the game's over in 5 minutes. No, we've still got like 15 or so minutes left to go of this game somehow. Like, by the way, we'll say somehow because, it, you know, how does this game last longer than 15 minutes? How does this game last longer than like 10? I don't know. Because the Aphelios is really strong, the Kassadin is scaling, the Zed is really weak, the Kazakhs is strong versus the Rengar. So I actually don't know how this game lasts 15 more minutes. There must be some type of throw. Rumble dies again. No vision in top lane for him, which is obviously quite bad. Kassadin does steal a blue, which is always a nice thing. Aphelios is going to make his way to mid lane. And there is the second item, by the way, Runan's Hurricane, which when I played this guy on the PBE, I did predict, yeah, this is 100% a Runan's champion. Why? Because you're tripling the effects. Your fire gets tripled. Obviously, the damage doesn't get tripled, but the effect gets tripled. The gravity gun, you're applying it to 3 different players and can route 3 different players. To me, it's just insanely good synergy with Aphelios is Runan, which is good to see. Because Runan, weirdly, was an item that a lot of people built a while ago, and then a lot of people stopped building it. Worth also noting, by the way, the map is Infernal. You can see, obviously, this is all burnt away and everything. Remember, the worst map, technically, for Rengar is Infernal map, because it's literally burning some of the bushes away in the game. Oh, tunnel vision happening, potentially, from Aphelios. Rumble ultimate trying to come in. Aphelios gets killed for free. Pretty bad play, actually. He was just completely tunneled. Not paying attention and walks... let's be honest, he walked into a Kled. Into a pretty damn strong Kled, too. Kassadin in 2v1 engaging. That champion, obviously, is crazy right now. And he will survive. Zed going to make his way out. And overall, it's an okay situation. Technically, it's a 2-for-1. Aphelios dies, 2 of them die. So it's a net positive. Never mind, it's a net neutral. Because Kazakhs walks into them. And by the way, you can see here, obviously, slight toxicity, what you could probably call it. Some replays randomly include the all chat. Some don't. This one is one that has the all chat. Don't really know why that's a thing, but it is this game. Bit of a weird situation happening in the all chat. Kassadin gets another kill with the Soraka's aid. Interesting item choice by Aphelios, by the way. He has bought himself a chain vest 3rd item. Now, there's 2 reasons you do that. One, he thinks his 2 items, the Infinity Edge and Runan, is enough for now. So if his 3rd item is GA, for example, he's like, that is not a crazy damage item. It's, you know, it gives him damage, but it's not a crazy damage item. He thinks, I'm strong enough. I don't need any more crazy damage. Let me get some survivability. That's one reason, which is pretty confident in his 2 items. Or it's, I'm going to keep dying to Kled if I don't buy armor. It's one of the 2. It could be a mixture of both as well. If I had to wager, I'd say it's probably more survivability rather than confidence, probably. But yeah, so remember, we're after the 20-minute point now. Baron is a potential for both teams. You know, even though they're behind, blue team has a pretty quick Baron take. They have 3 AD champions who can do it pretty quick. Red team also can do it very quick. Isolation damage for Kha'Zix. Aphelios with his tower, if he manages to get the turret weapon, does that very quick. Right, going to push it in. Dragon will be spawning soon, I'd imagine. Fight is potentially breaking out, and there is no Aphelios, no Kha'Zix, so hopefully the Kassadin doesn't go too all in. Think he does a bit of poke, and that's about it. Kled go... Ooh, lovely dodge. Does get hooked on, though, by the Rumble. Bad Rumble ultimate because of it. Kha'Zix does get a nice pick, though. So I will say, potentially what should have happened there, it was a good ultimate by Kassadin, but it did kind of screw his Rumble over. Maybe the Kassadin should have let the Kled ultimate latch to him. Let it latch, then ultimate after. But there you go, another kill, another death for the red team, and you can kind of see why this game isn't free for the red team. It's because there are just little small mistakes that are coming out from them. They're kind of engaging at weird times, being alone. Rengar potentially getting caught now, so again, mistakes happening both sides, obviously. Kled probably will go for an engage here, if I'd imagine. But let's see how much damage happens. So, Kassadin going for an escape. Aphelios doing a bit of damage, does get the root, going to continue his damage. Kled going to look for potentially the all-in. Lovely Soraka play so far. Kassadin coming in the end of the fight. Unfortunate Q. Rumble coming in now from reviving. Now coming in for a teleport play. Aphelios puts a tower behind them for some reason. Don't know if he ulted. He still got it. Does go for not an ultimate yet, or I can't see it at least. Does do a bunch of damage. Obviously has the item that we've said, or the weapon, sorry, that is the crazy one. Lots of damage coming through. Is getting alled in, but does walk to his tower. Is going to be a lot of damage. Now going to go for the 2v1. Is probably going to end up dead. Does die. Does seem there's a correlation of he dies when he gets stunned. Hey, look, he's an AD carry. Kassadin is in the area, though. There was vision on the Kled from the Aphelios, and that will help Kassadin secure the kill. What a fiesta game. After all that said and done, Kha'Zix returns to the Dragon and will now pick his team up the Dragon, which, remember, is 10%... 10%, no, it's less than that now. It's 5% AD and AP per stack from memory. And the Dragon Soul for the Infernal map is every 3 seconds. Again, I have to remember this off the top of my head. Every 3 seconds, one of your spells or auto attacks does a small AoE explosion. Honestly, and again, I think Riot did it on purpose. Out of all the dragons, etc., I do think Infernal is the worst of the 4. I'd say the best is most likely Ocean. Then I'd probably say Cloud. And by the way, we're including both. We're including what does the dragon itself give you and what does the Dragon Soul give you. Both of those included. The order, to me anyway, is Ocean first, then Cloud, then Mountain, then Infernal. Which is really weird. Maybe I'd put Mountain and Infernal roughly tied, but yeah, kind of crazy. I think Riot did that on purpose because obviously the last couple seasons, everything has all been about Infernal Dragon, really. So I think they did it on purpose to kind of like nerf it a bit, tone it down, and bring the other dragons up in strength, which I don't blame them for at all. Right, so Syndra in top lane by herself, but is relatively safe. I doubt the red team is going to just walk in there. That would have to be a lot of confidence to do that. With, limited vision like they have right now. Kassadin, Rengar ulted, by the way. Questionable ult. Like, he's got one-shot-ish potential. Maybe on the Soraka. Maybe the Aphelios, but then, you have to deal with the Soraka heal. Rumble getting engaged on. Kassadin's down in the area. Rumble goes for a very early Zhonya's. Aphelios goes for an ultimate. Does hit it. Look how much damage he just did. Oh, my God. He stays in relative safety. What the hell was that? He just over half healths 2 people instantly. And I know there are going to be some people going, yeah, there's other champions that can do that. Sure. Level 11 Aphelios. Like a level 11 AD carry can basically like over half health 2 enemy champions instantly. Yeah, that's not normal. Anyway, fight is continuing. Stun comes through. Kassadin stuck in the pit. Full engaged by the Kled. Does manage to get on a good target. Rumble getting killed by the Rengar. Aphelios now has to deal with the Kled. Kassadin should go over and help. You can notice that the Kled is focusing the Soraka because she is generally the problem. Aphelios with his Grav Gun does a bit of damage. Isn't going to get up the kill right now. Kha'Zix is making his way. Aphelios surviving. Probably needs to go for a bit of regen if he wants to continue. But the fight will most likely disperse. And that will mean it was a 3-4-3. So yeah, not free this game at all. Rumble is making a couple positional mistakes, you could say. So he's never like doing maximum amount of damage in a team fight. I don't even know if he got his ultimate off. His ultimate right now is on cooldown. Like, he has it available. So I don't know if he actually got his ultimate off or if it was on cooldown for the fight. But obviously that's a very big team fight ability that wasn't used. Is worth noting though, obviously weakness on the enemy team. The Zed is having a rough game. And you know, that's just kind of the way sometimes of assassins is you're either going to have a great game or a bad game. It makes sense. An assassin is an all-in champion, so you're all-inning. You're either strong or weak. You're either going to get a kill or you're going to die. So, yeah. I'd probably say that assassin is probably the hardest group of champions to make a comeback on as well. Because, you know, your whole thing is about assassinating and killing people. And if you're weak, you don't kill people. So how do you make a comeback? You know, you don't really want an assassin just power farming in a side lane all the time. I know some of them can split push, but they split push with the intention of killing people, not farming. So yeah. Right, Aphelios in the area. It does seem that the momentum might be slowing down somewhat. Like, what's going on now? Why is Aphelios by himself here? You know, where's the game plan is what you're kind of wondering. Rumble, once again, out of position, going to get himself caught, is going to end up being 1-7. So if this Rumble continues the way that he is, I can see why now the game is lasting as long as it kind of is. Which it shouldn't. Aphelios going to do a bit of damage. Soraka getting one shot. Ultimate coming through by Aphelios. Towers in place. Is going to do a lot of damage. Look how much damage he is dealing. A lot, by the way. Isn't enough. And that potentially will be Baron for the enemy team due to mispositioning. Kassadin does get a nice pick, though. Is going to try and do his best. Rengar misses. Kassadin coming through. Does do a nice jump flash play. So that saves the fight. That does save that the enemy team now can't do the Baron. Weird stun there, but Syndra will most likely die. Kassadin misses his E. I think that was negligible. She might be trying to do a play to teleport away, but, you know, you're getting chased by a Kassadin. You're going to die. So, yes, I do, by the way, recommend Kassadin in current meta. This player, obviously, Void Walker. I'd imagine, you know, that kind of sounds like a Kassadin one-trick name. He really shouldn't be able to play Kassadin that much. Like, I really do believe Kassadin should be a near permaban in the game right now, by the way. But, you know, it is obviously he's going to get through occasionally. This is a dragon, so if I'm not mistaken, this is the 4th dragon. There it is. So, yes, it does show on, obviously, the champions that they now have the Dragon Soul of Infernal. Kassadin just dives a Z. He has now double-digit death. And remember, just worth note, if people are still learning the patch, etc., because obviously there's a lot to go through. As soon as he gets another kill in 2v1, and he gets another kill. So, yeah, Kassadin, ladies and gentlemen, he's only half health. What the hell is that champion? He is now engaging. Is now going to basically kill the whole enemy team by himself. That's Kassadin. And yeah, he goes, level 16. So, like, yeah, level 16 is a big buff for Kassadin, by the way. Always has been. Does get himself killed in a questionable way. Baron is most likely on the table now. But yeah, just lesson of this game, not just the Aphelios stuff. Ban Kassadin or play Kassadin. Right, the dragon's being done, like we mentioned. The item that obviously he wants to use, and he actually doesn't get it in range of the Baron, is the Tau, which is the boomerang. Kled coming in, think I heard his ultimate. Or did I not? Am I hearing things? I think I might have just heard something. Didn't actually happen. So there we go. That is a nice Baron take. Kassadin's going to buy even more items. Aphelios now returning. And by the way, that chain vest just was staying there, by the way. So that was another option. Meanwhile, Syndra gets caught and killed. That was another option. He bought a chain vest just for temporary buffed survivability. So he didn't finish it. He ignored buying anything extra with it. It will go into a GA. That will be his next item, I'd imagine. But he kept it being a chain vest, and then he bought a Phantom Dancer after, by the way. So just to give him a little bit of an armor boost, just to help him a little bit to the Kled, it is something that you can do. Again, cost effectiveness of what you're using your gold for and when, it's not very cost effective, but if you feel I can't do much damage if I'm this squishy to one of the enemy team, then it is effective because you can't do any damage if you die. So the armor, which might have saved his life a couple times, was effective in the end because it made him actually do more damage in the long run because he didn't get killed instantly. Right, so Kassadin split push, Kha'Zix in the jungle, and now 3 in mid. So like it's kind of like which should be like a 4-1 split, so, which Kha'Zix is in the general area. Zed going for a a little play on the Soraka. She obviously is going to get heavily focused. Now the Aphelios is in trouble. Is going to do a bunch of damage, going to flash away. Zed not doing a bunch of damage, and there is all the crazy stuff coming in. Kassadin makes it, Aphelios makes it. Kha'Zix going for nice damage there. Janna ultimate was actually pretty good. Double kill for Aphelios. Does get a nice ultimate. I think that hit. And they will finish off the kill. Rumble getting it here and there. So the game will be in its relatively closing stages. So there was Aphelios. Did pick up a couple things here or there. It does seem that, especially in team fights, you can definitely see the emphasis on having the boomerang weapon 100%. That is also the one that he looked like he was wanting to use the most for ulting as well. Again, apologies for toxicity in the chat. It is high rating on EU West after all, a relatively toxic environment. But yeah, we did learn a fair amount. Worth noting, because some people are like, oh, the Kassadin was the MVP this game, etc. In damage done, I actually think the Aphelios did slightly more damage, and if he didn't, it was they were within like 500 damage of each other. So incredibly close damage. And that, yeah, really fun to watch. High damage levels. I think the big thing that we saw with Aphelios was when the play happened here, when the whole enemy jumped on him and he just killed everything. That was really interesting. And then also remember when he half-health 2 people instantly with 1 ultimate at level 11. So he does do a lot of damage. He is again, he is more complicated than a lot of AD carries, but you can pick him up as long as you learn the combos. But that's going to be it. That is Aphelios. Very interesting champion. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, throw a like on the video. Worth noting, by the way, my league partner codes will be here hopefully in the next couple of days. Make sure you are a subscriber if you want to make, and turn the bell notifications on if you do want to make sure you have a chance to win those, because I'll be giving them out in videos. I'm going to give them out on my stream, Huzzy Games on Twitch, and on social media. The main two probably Instagram Huzzy Games, Twitter Huzzy Games lol, and maybe I'll give like 1 or 2 away on Snapchat, but I don't really use Snapchat that much anymore. But that's going to be it. If you guys enjoy, throw a like on it, throw a subscribe. See you guys next time. Peace.